Sup, folks? Sorry. Immediately noticed audio not working properly, but sup, folks? Zaguero here. Wow, that's frustrating. Here with our 7th stream, I think it is 7th stream. Completely redid the way my microphone should be working. Change it from routing through video broadcast to routing directly through my mic, but putting an NVIDIA filter on it within OBS along with a bunch of other filters. So the goal would be, I know it's like the last couple streams, I always start by saying sup, right? And I think the last 2 or 3 that did not get picked up correctly. So I tested it a bunch, did it 10 times in a row, and it picked up when I changed these settings, and was also, voice was a little bit better, volume's a little bit higher. I think I might need to adjust that, but it's in a pretty good range. But immediately when I started, I don't think it picked it up. But that's fine, it's whatever. I think this is our first time on a Tuesday. I'm doing it today to, the goal is to then stream a couple hours today and then a couple hours tomorrow to do back-to-back streams for the first time. Not that like I think that's gonna be hard or anything because I'm not going super long, but just want to see how it goes. Plus I want to get through the last case, and I know I can't do it in one stream today, so the goal is to do it in 2 streams over today and tomorrow, because I'm guessing it's going to take between 5 and 6 hours, maybe even longer than that, who knows. So the goal is to go 2.5 to 3 today whenever we get to a good stopping point, and then once we get there, we'll basically stream all the rest of the case tomorrow. If it ends up being shorter than I thought, then we'll switch on to something else for a bit to test some stuff. Not necessarily test some stuff, but just, man, maybe we'll use it as an option to test some things. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, that's kind of it. We're wrapping up. I'm still debating what I actually want to do with the full stream after this game's over. I know there is a 3rd game in the series. I don't think I want to do that. I want to do something that isn't me talking or to me reading the entire time. I need to start getting practice talking through something that isn't necessarily just me reading off the screen. Some more riffing and more that kind of stuff, while also getting better talking through actually playing a game. One thing I just noticed, I don't know if it's been this way the entire time or it's just been today. Whenever I look over to the left, I don't know, it immediately turns into a frown, and I'm not sure why. I tried to adjust a few settings, it still immediately turns into a frown when I look to the left. I'll have to figure that out, because I look to the left a lot, because that's where my other monitor is, so I can check stuff. The other thing, I was trying to tweak with the audio to see if any filter I could do could try to fix a little bit of the extra noise coming from me. And it's incredibly frustrating. It might just be I need to have less saliva in my mouth, because I am noticing some of the time in certain situations when I'm recording something, over the course of a stream, I don't hear it as much as I go to listen back to some of the streams. But like when I was just recording some test audio, the little bit of like moisture that you can hear when I'm talking is kind of frustrating some of the time. I think it clears up after a bit, after I started talking for a while. I think it's just when I first started talking. So maybe what I need to do is talk for 10 minutes straight before actually starting the stream. But whatever, let's go ahead and get into the game. We'll start to launch that up here. Same time, we will kill our background music. Wait for that to load fully here. There we go. And we will switch. Let me turn down my headphone audio because the game's loud for me. Over in our corner. Ourselves in our little corner here. So I think my microphone's in a different spot than I normally put it. Man, whatever. I am thinking about just fully replacing my microphone. I use a Blue Yeti USB that I've used for... Ooh. It might be almost 10 years old at this point. I know Blue Yeti's still considered a good mic, but it does require like me to put a lot of filters on to get a lot of background audio off. If I was going to switch something, I'd switch to one of the Shure SM, was it SM7B? Or they've got a newer one, but they're pretty expensive. I'm not sure if I want to invest that money into this yet. But if I roll with slightly lower audio quality, chances of more people tuning in and listening and sticking around is lower. But do I want to spend hundreds of dollars on improving my audio on something that might not take off? Who knows? I guess I have to evaluate how much disposable income I really have. But, okay. Let's get into the game. We left off during the recess between trial parts on day 1 of this trial. The part of this is that we're supposed to be getting a not guilty verdict on day 1, or Maya, who's been kidnapped, is in trouble. We know our client's actually innocent, so this is all very weird. We had a scene near the end last time where like it looked like Maya was escaping, but I'm not sure if she actually did or not. We'll hopefully find out soon. Other audio changes I made. There shouldn't be any situations where the audio peaks like crazy, because I put a limiter on that. And times when I'm really quiet should also be boosted a little bit. So it should be equalized a skosh. Who knows? I'm going to end up listening back to a lot of the stream. I did a bunch of testing of just recording stuff. But that is like very, you know, you're talking for a minute, as opposed to going for hours and seeing how it lasts over the hours of the actual quality audio. But we'll see. If anyone stops in, I'll ask him how the audio sounds, and we'll go from there. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way, not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. That's who we think did it. She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? We also know it's somebody shorter than you by a significant amount. I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also planted that blood-covered button in your Hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. And dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Carita, all to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. One thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Mr. Impacts. It was Edgeworth, yes, who's the prosecutor, so it's a little bit concerning, right? Looks like he's still the one in command of the ship. Don't let your guard down yet. I'm trying to figure out if I'm further away from my destiny. Usual things feel like a little off. Maybe I'm just crazy. Okay, 2:25 after the recess. Okay, itchy nose. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ungard. See, now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure, what is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I'd love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. Never even heard of Gossip Land. The judge was ever prosecution witness. He'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Kurita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. This was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter. Was that a bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. My nose is never itchy until I start streaming, then immediately starts itching all the time. When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. What? You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that was when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? Yeah, we're going to press on everything like we normally do. When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. What was Mr. Ungard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from as many performances as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ungard did say he was taking a nap. I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you? Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ungard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. After that, I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Keep pressing further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time. I can't get her to talk with that strong piece of evidence, I guess. Can we continue now? What did you see when you got to his room? And there was his dead body. I was in shock. You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. You can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. That's what I was about to wonder about the guitar case. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. So here's the thing. The one juice was full on the table, and there was an empty one in the fridge. So unless she went to the fridge, or unless like the drawing of the juice on the table is not supposed to be full, then this throws my thing off here. Juice. Yes. There's a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. Where's the crime scene photo? I mean, I'm trying to tell, is it to that line or is it to that line based on the drawing? Because if it's to that line, it's full. If it's to that line, it's not. I don't know. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There are no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down, without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. When I was a complete blank, I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? I guess, yeah, we gotta press further, obviously. Miss Andrews. I'm convinced that as you... Oops, sorry. I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? Okay, so the important thing is that there's water on top of the guitar case, which wouldn't have happened if it was open once you dropped the flower vase. This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why do you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry, I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. I was the one who knocked the flower vase over where it fell onto the guitar case. So that's what I need to present the guitar case on, I think. I'm going to press it. What kind of flower vase was it? The glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse. So I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned her that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to, for Maya's sake. Okay. Just in case this is broken, or we're wrong. This is broken. In case we get something wrong. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna make a second save. Just in case, because I thought I almost soft locked myself the other day, and I don't want to do that, so. Okay, we know what we want to do. So we are going to present the guitar case. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over, is this correct? Yes. Now, are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testify that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? The guitar case was open when the vase fell. The glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. What's your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. It may very well be, however, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems there's no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Then why would she open it? Well, Mr. Wright, you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Yes. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Heh, I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Well, that's weird. It looks like this really was an important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, let's go and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Okay, we'll just keep pressing on stuff. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see, are you sure you were the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Cree's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic, it's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. Well, no, we know the guitar wasn't there because it wasn't there for the first part. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. Okay, we're gonna save again. Because I need to look through the evidence. I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to be presenting here, in all honesty. Not what I meant to do. Well, I gotta make sure I don't accidentally present. Check, there's nothing important. I want to see if there's something that shows like he didn't have the thing on him. That's not important. Oh, there's no fingerprints. Does that matter? Anything in here that matters? I don't see anything. I don't think this is the play yet. I don't think this is the play yet. Okay, I think what I want to do... I'm not sure if it makes sense to present it yet, but she says she touched it, but it only has Krita's fingerprints. I don't know if that matters. Okay, I think I want to do it here. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. So I think I actually got it right. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Well, then there's fingerprints on the glass. Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. You're wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Ah. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Oh no, her glasses broke. Oh, she had another pair. Order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What did you mean? I believe the guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I'm assuming the suicide note for whatever reason. But I don't know why that would be the case. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... Yeah, but here's the thing. The witness is proved to have lied several times on the stand already, so why would you take any of her testimony to be fact? No, Your Honor, please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. Which means this case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you're so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to that guitar case, as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Quick save. Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. A bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar... So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that right? Right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? I'm gonna guess a suicide note? And why would something like that be inside a guitar case load on this one? Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Well, I just thought it might have been possible. Yeah. We'll take the hit on that one. And a forceful will get some love. You still think you can prove your theory? Can you prove the guitar case was not empty at the time of murder? I wouldn't say something I didn't prove. I mean, the transceiver wouldn't make sense. The press conference ticket wouldn't make sense. The camera wouldn't make sense. The article doesn't make sense. The map doesn't make sense. The guitar case doesn't make sense. The wine glass doesn't make sense. The photo doesn't make sense. Unless, like, it's in this picture. But I don't see anything in this picture. The button doesn't make sense. The attempted suicide report would make sense. The autopsy report would make sense. The knife wouldn't make sense. There's nothing in this picture that presents it. I mean, I don't think the knife makes sense. None of this stuff makes sense. I mean, I'm gonna say the knife. I know this can't be it. So just because we got that wrong, we're gonna load really quick. Just to save points of later. Okay. What's inside the case at the time of the murder? I mean, there's nothing in this. Like, I'm trying to think, do I present a photo and point to something? Nothing there. The camera doesn't... I mean, the camera sure doesn't make sense to me. Radio transceiver doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I'm somewhat lost here. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't present a profile, would I? Right now, I'm just gonna present everything and then load once I find the right thing, basically, because this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't logically see anything else that could be here. What did I just present? The transceiver? I don't think the camera doesn't make sense either. Can I choose not to present something? No. I don't think like the body would be in there. That's why I don't think I present a profile. So I presented this, this, this. Why would I present a magazine clipping? Yeah, why would the guitar case be in the guitar case? Literally, I just want to skip through and present everything. This is dumb to me. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be getting at. The one thing I was trying to think was his outfit in the guitar case, and like he just carried in the guitar case for whatever reason. That's why I wanted to present the photo to say that the I'm completely lost here. Well, either way, we gotta load now because we're about to lose. I mean, I can't just look up the answer too, but I'm at this point, we're pretty much done brute forcing it, so let's just continue brute forcing it. We did that, we already presented the suicide report. Attempted suicide report doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm very lost here. It's probably gonna be something obvious, and once I see it, I'll understand. Was she in the guitar case? And that I did the knife already, didn't I? I'm super lost. So, okay, so it's this photo. So hold on, really quick. We're gonna load and just go from there. Before I do that, I'm gonna step away from just a sec because all of a sudden it got really chilly. So I'm gonna get a warmer shirt. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. So I'm going to be back in just a second. Okay, I am back. Helmet back off. Take the BRB off. Okay. First time I've gotten to use that. It's just one little text thing. I can toggle on and off. Okay, back to this. You can present the photo. Continue push through, yada. You want to present that photo. Though I'm still not sure exactly what we're presenting in the photo itself. This is a photograph. Yes, but what's important is what's in that picture, Your Honor. And this picture, it doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... Inside the guitar case was a nickel samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? So is this getting at the whole thing that Matt wasn't going to be going to the press conference in the first place? They were going to have Juan go as him? Would be my guess. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Are you saying that the witness to open the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to do something like that? An insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? Oh, I'm so stupid. They're coming out of Juan's room. The other side, that's them leaving Juan's room. There's no photo of them going into Juan's room. Order. It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Guard's. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? I believe it was a spare costume. Mr. Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one. What? Then are you saying that on the day of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? We mean that the victim had himself brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. Yeah. Why are you bringing an empty guitar case? He would have been able to lift it and know the guitar's not in there. But why? The victim, Mr. Krita, was a Jammin ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was a press conference. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Krita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Krita was going to hold a press conference as the nickel samurai. He was going to dress up as the nickel samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. By confess, I wonder he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Krita, posing as a nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt and Guard. Yes, I guess that is what that would mean. But if that's the case, that's not confession, that's public disclosure. Humph. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up, and the person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. If he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? Do you know what the secret of Master on Guards is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Protecting Matt? From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. But why were you wearing the costume? This doesn't count for everything. Well, I'm the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. He's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with his testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. See, so this game gets so frustrating because that's such a leap in logic for the judge, and if I don't present one thing that is completely rock solid, then it's just a guy who's guilty with no proof as to him having done it. It's kind of dumb. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight to this and turn our logic upside down. So what do I need to present here? From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need three things. 3 things? Motive and opportunity to commit the crime, and finally decisive evidence. You think these 3 things through, it's a lot of T's in a row, or THs. 5 of them 6, I didn't even say though yet. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. So you'd say this need came from the press conference? Yes, do you know why Juan chose that event and had that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt and Guard. You knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But why? I'm sure Mr. Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof they didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. I don't think you're supposed to press this. Has Mr. Ungard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Krita with his press conference, and that event was supposed to break down Mr. Ungard, yet you still helped out. The person in trial right now is Mr. Ungard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? No, like, any court would want that answer. If he didn't have an alibi for what he's doing. Because we're implying that she was involved in the murder, and now they're saying, well, she doesn't have to answer any questions. What? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Ungard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover from Mr. Ungard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. Okay. There's more there. Hold on. I should have read all that. We don't need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Yes, I know. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. I want to press on the last two things. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found on the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I think that makes it very decisive evidence. Irk. But we're saying she planted. This is so stupid. Looks like you're out fox skin, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. An icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. I'm gonna press on that. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the buttons in the costumes were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. Arg, and I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here, but where and what? I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Matt and Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was this large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Krita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Ungard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour, and please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now. We don't need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Okay, I've pressed on everything. What can I present that eliminates something she said? I mean, to me, it would be like, well, why did you put the costume on to leave? But I guess she's going to say she wasn't the one who did that. But then the costume would have fit Matt perfectly. So that's what I'm confused about. Like, this photo still makes a big difference. I don't know. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove that I'm right. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. That button was turned off Juan during his fight with Matt. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Hold on. When I pressed it, added something. But I didn't see it pop up again, unless I'm just not paying enough attention. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, that wasn't it. I'm just repressing on everything because I forget what. Okay. I think the tripper up on it has to be here, but where and what? Okay, I'm confused. So I can't, pressing doesn't like replay her adding the additional stuff. Okay. We're gonna throw in a save just in case. Didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of murder. So I want to present this photo again. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I'll follow you. It clearly contradicts the I thought. Because the time of the murder, like after the murder. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm angry. I don't think, I don't know if this is right either. Where's the autopsy report? 8:15. Okay. None of this matters. There's nothing here that shows like a time. Okay, I'm not quite sure why it does, but this evidence contradicts that statement. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Oh. Okay. I wonder why it like did a different... Why it like gave a different response. Okay, I don't want to keep dicking around with this. Like, this is frustrating. I'm just gonna cheat and look it up just so I'm not spending an hour picking every single thing. This is stupid. Okay. I don't think this make... Okay, so this is what I have to present on. And I have to present the autopsy report. Because the idea that he was strangled with a scarf and then stabbed with a knife, the idea is that the knife is what dislodged the button, so he was stabbed after the fight. But that doesn't, I mean, that's it. I don't understand how you're supposed to arrive at that logically. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation. Or no, she's saying he was, did she say he was stabbed to death? I don't think she did. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which means that it was ripped off of the costume when? after the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it's possible this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. I mean, that's such a pedantic argument. Because the victim was strangled to death, and then he was stabbed after. But if you're, like, in a fight, you can still be in a rage and, like, stabbing after you strangle. But I don't know. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. I mean, you could say it was taken off to be planted, but, like, that's a stretch. Order. What? Oh, interrupted. What's the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? You know, I saw something else that's weird about this game. My thing tells me when somebody lies. Then how come every time someone's lied on the stand, it hasn't let me know? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this button from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? What was it? To pin the crime on guard, obviously. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that, was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally, I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet, not until the very end. Real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is... I mean, so this is like a really stupid one. Like, I mean, there's only one obvious choice here. So like why even make it a thing to present? It's Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You're Mr. Creed's killer. What? Wasn't there someone whose glasses broke in the first game? They're using the breaking glasses gimmick. Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All the evidence points to Miss Andrews. What? How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then, what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. I swear they did that gimmick before. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he'd already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap. Which is you yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? There's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. It was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, She was a classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Ah, and to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this Nickel Samurai is Mr. On Guard. It would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. There's gonna be an objection. Miss Andrews, I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. But then it removes your entire testimony. Your entire testimony goes away if you plead the fifth. Well, yes, you're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room, Agent Andrews. Yes. Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood. All right. That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Ms. Andrews to not testify if things look bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix, but there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? Heh heh heh. What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Ran out of evidence? What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize that this as well, Your Honor, but everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof, but my goal is to provide reasonable doubt for my client being guilty, at which point we present so much circumstantial evidence that would say this other person could easily be the culprit. It wouldn't be our job to provide definitive proof that they are a murderer. We've provided the opportunity for them to be the murderer, not guilty. Prove that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I'll abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. No, clearly there's no way you can make to say our client is guilty at this point, when someone else is refusing to testify on the grounds it may incriminate themselves. I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. Doesn't fucking matter. So I'm getting really angry. This is so stupid. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do, and that is declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. At tomorrow's trial, we don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial, please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? This is so stupid. That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... It's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now that this court it's not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, it's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, The topic of conversation is something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but actually, there's one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually one finds a body that is shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find on this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I mean, that's not how that works, but okay. I don't know what it is about Edward today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know you. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Like, this is so stupid. When the prosecution witness is found to be lying, continually changing their testimony, and then starts pleading the fifth, case dismissed. Defendant's like, oh, so you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why did you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I also don't understand why the prosecutors work so hard to try to convict somebody they figured out is not guilty. It doesn't make sense. When I found the body, well, for some of them it does, like the one Von Karma from the last game just wanted like a perfect record, so he made stuff up. But it's so stupid. Let's see, okay. Let's compress on everything again. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's rhyme and reason for everything. Can wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you. In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. So I'm getting frustrated. Because I say I could have said it better myself. Okay. I was surprised when I walked in that room and saw it in that messy state. So it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? I understand your frustration of not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what do you see next, witness? And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Wasn't he facing the door? Slumped over? Yes, he was sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is this me or did that right there sound a little odd? When I saw him sing like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. I mean... he's got a knife sticking out of his chest. Right? I mean... wouldn't that be obvious? I was gonna say if his eyes were open, because she said his eyes were closed. Like when she went to place the glass, she wouldn't have noticed the knife? Okay, I need to cycle back through. I thought he fainted. I'm gonna press on everything just in case, but then I almost didn't such a mistake. I thought maybe he got into a fight with someone. That's when he poured the glass of juice. Yes, he always had a hard time waking up, so Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? I realized he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. And how do you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward and knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to, huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix now has the best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Okay. I want to present the photo. Oops. So apparently that's not it. Hold on. Okay, whatever. Apparently, I need to present it on not that one. I need to present it on this. So I'm sorry that I'm just kind of like looking stuff up at this point, but honestly, I'm kind of frustrated with the game right now because it's being really stupid. And I knew what I was trying to. It's another case where I know what I'm trying to get to, but presenting on that last statement made sense. It was she saw him slumped over and thought he was sleeping, but then the next statement is I didn't think he was dead, so I have to present it then. I mean, it's still we're presenting it about his appearance, and I brought up when she said she was looked at him. So I also didn't think he was dead when you found him. No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Ah, what is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Krita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who's fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now was all one giant lie. Your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you were the real killer. But I still haven't provided any evidence. I don't understand how this changes a thing. No. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Mattengard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear he's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. Your reason for not doing so is you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. And there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mattengard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. How has it been more clearly demonstrated now than it was before that one additional thing? Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone has it. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mattengard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass on a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. As long as you protect yourself through your silence, Mattengard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over and Matt would never be declared guilty. So is this Von Karma's trying to cheat? I thought she was secretly trying to, I don't, what in the world is she talking about how she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself, then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt and Guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then, what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get our not guilty. I thought I was gonna say first. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please, someone help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I mean, I would request a not guilty verdict because I don't, like, my job is to get my defendant free and save Maya. So what's the point of me, like, doing this other stuff? I mean, it seems like they're trying to force us to pick that option. So, I mean, I don't know. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Well, then her defense attorney can worry about that. Miss Andrews, I don't understand why it's up to me as the defense attorney to be the one to provide justice. If the prosecutor doesn't think she did it, then why would, like, after my guy's found not guilty, why would he charge her if he thinks she didn't do it? I don't understand. I'd like to know what you're really hiding. This game is making me very frustrated today. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Inkar would get an acquittal, but in his place he would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. Itchy nose after sneezing. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's good the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth, this witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? Because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop, please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, we'll find out. I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I'll pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. Okay. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Okay. I mean, is the killer the same guy who kidnapped... Okay, so here... here's where my line of thinking is going now. We know that Matt isn't the killer because of we didn't trigger the psych lock. But maybe he hired the killer, which is the name of the... Do I have that profile for him? No. The person who kidnapped Myers is called the killer. Did he hire him to kill them? So he didn't lie when he said he didn't kill anybody, but the killer wants him to be let go because otherwise he's going to like flip and say, I hired this guy to kill him. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Stab the body with a knife, why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person, a certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? I might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man, I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Creta, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt in guard for the murder. But why did she already have the knife? Did she go back to get the knife? Why did she have the knife? She with the intent of framing Matt in guard for the murder. And this is her crime. If they don't address the fact that why did she bring the knife with her, then that's gonna be really stupid. How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there's no in the hallway, I made... did I miss this? Once I made sure there's no in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room, and then I stabbed one... Okay. I was so frustrated, I skipped over that part. She left to go get the knife, and then ripped off the button. The starting fish was turning Matt's room might have been inconvenience. Okay, we need to know what the inconvenience is. The inconvenience? I'm not pressing on everything because I want to go faster. I know that, like, I hate like letting the frustration take over the stream, and I think this is something I probably have to get better at, but I'm just overly frustrated with this game right now. There's a woman with the camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. Willing to bet my spikes is Lada. There's also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Old Bag for you. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Oops, I didn't mean to skip on that too. Sorry, Phoenix. No, please don't apologize to me. You're both taken by surprise. Still, I'm sorry. Okay, I guess we're just gonna press on everything. I mean, the whole thing, we need to get to like the motive, but like I didn't see like something on to go for there. She talked about after the testimony. You could tell from the room was in there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you said you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. That scarf is a part of the Jim Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up. I went to pour the juice. I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. What was this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's... Okay, so now she'll do this and I'll hopefully explain what the point was. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's what I thought. I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged piece of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That's where you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife? It gives me goosebumps to think about it now, what a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. So we still have to figure out the whole card thing. Because it was in her purse. And it was also at the scene of where Maya was kidnapped. Or Maya was being held, so I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So he thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Engard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. Things never go that smoothly, do they? And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it in Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Engard's room and planted the button? Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. And I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Engard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Franziska, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. If I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she's not the real killer. She's lied 20 times. Even if you don't think she's the real killer, you now have no proof whatsoever that Matt did it. We've talked about this before, you need the three things. And now you only have the motive, which we don't actually know. So it's so stupid here. Wait, Your Honor. Defense still. Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence to point to her as the murderer. Your cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit, so please let it go, Mr. Wright. Well, we've established that our client is not the killer, but... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Okay, Maya's dead. Game is over. Today's trial, it's over, and I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth, what is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, remember just now, I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. Oh, super. So it's just the calling card of the killer. This is so stupid. It was lying there right next to him. Why didn't she testify about that 5 minutes ago? It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card is any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card if you ask me. It's also frustrating how stupid Phoenix is. And then like sometimes he makes like these amazing leaps in logic that don't actually have like any like real backing. As far as the clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness, that card, give it to me, hurry. Edgeworth, do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This, I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card, what in the world is it and what does it mean? Oh no, but like the whole thing, like I don't understand if we told a police officer that someone was being held hostage and that they were going to be killed if we didn't acquit him. And he didn't mention to the prosecutor, so they just went through the whole thing. Phoenix doesn't bring it up at some point, gets a sidebar with the judge to mention it, to do anything. This is like, I don't know. It's so frustratingly stupid. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to go through there's probably going to be a nice investigation phase. We'll do that, and then we'll probably save the trial. Oh yeah, investigation. We'll probably do the investigation and save the trial for tomorrow. The Lofts, Mystic Maya, Sniffle, Sniffle. There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Wow. Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up, we don't have time to stay around crying, we have to get going. You're right, Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right. So, hey, you guys, glad I caught you, pal. Mr. Scruffy Detective? Oh boy, it looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now. I came to talk to you, pal. We're kind of busy right now. So what are you going to do from now? Why? What, is he not going to like share the immediate information he has? Like, what do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that. What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. But that's how it would work anyway. You wouldn't have gotten paid till your next pay. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just going to have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? You were searching for things that'll prove Mr. Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching over people's places. I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Does no one care about the fact that Maya's dead? Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. Because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. The truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony, I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself, but I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would you want to? No, I mean almost need to frame Esther on guard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that the testimony was a lie? Not a lie per se. It just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that what Edgeworth would like us to believe. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. That's such a dirty trick. Even that woman prosecutor is better than that. Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. Well, she's going to be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What? Are you going to visit her, pal? No, well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death not being able to go to the trial today, so maybe good for her to... Good for her if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal. Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick. No, I'm definitely not going. Let's see. The name of the hospital. Yeah, the Heidi Clinic. That name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. He said he had information for us. Whatever, I'm just gonna leave. Never thought I'd actually come back to this place. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? Hi. Wait a second, you're... yes, I'm Director Heidi, ho-ho. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yes. Director Heidi. Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Heidi, ho-ho. Oh, you're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it? Director, Franziska, how's Franziska von Karma? You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because, you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes, he. Yes, and that surgery, it went well. You have my gratitude. It looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret. She looks so pitiful, absolutely terrified. Yes, but I understand. Yes, her opponent was a gun after all. When I snuck up on her real secret, she would scream really loud. I see. Which is really cute too. When I do that, she'd whip me with her whip. Boy, did I cry like a baby, but I think I could get used to it. I'm skipping all the little interjection things. Go back to your room. You're so mean, my frisky Friska. Well, that's good too. Okay, it's time for my IV drops. And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix, right? I knew I shouldn't have come here. I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. I even had full intentions of running the trial this morning. But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know? Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding, one is to wonder if he simply was interested in sealing my case. His own logical course of action given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. Ungard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal? You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix, right? If I'd been in court today, this trial would have already been over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime? That isn't my problem. Whether she tampered with the evidence or not, I have only one objective, to find Mr. Ungard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix, right? The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma, Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then Mr. Ungard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. But you had to know she was... Ow. I think visiting hours here are about over. So if you'll excuse me... What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. Okay, we'll talk to him. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far... but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, right, the courtroom is a garden of judgment. I'm putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. By the way, Edgeworth, you're really angry in court today. That's rare for you. We already read that, so we're not reading it again. That card, what in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, right, this is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. A special investigations team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. a man called Shelley the Killer. And just as his name states, he's a killer, an assassin, the best at that. An assassin? Okay. So who's this Shelley the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelley is the the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name. But because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves cards with a shell on them. He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? I think it's a part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. So yes, he was hired by Matt. So that's why when Matt said he didn't kill anyone or has never killed anyone, he hired a killer. So we figured out the case. The only problem is now we have to be pedantic in providing evidence about it. The killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. Do you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case? I guess we can't put together without something to say that the killer is the one who took... No, he said his name was the Killer. Didn't he? Yes, he did. Okay, it would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelley the Killer, huh? I noticed something at the trial today. You're behaving in a strange manner. Is something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Really? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. We're not going to mention that we need an acquittal by the end of the day today, which we didn't get, and it has not been addressed at all. Right, listen, you need to know something. Juan Credo was killed by Shelley the Killer, and the client who ordered the job is Matt Engard, your own client. Please stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you'll need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley the Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter. Letter of introduction. In attempting to drink from my glass, I just apparently spilled all over myself. I must have leaned back too far. In case I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again if anything should happen. Now, if you'll excuse me... Mr. Nick, do you think Mr. Engard hired an assassin? No way. I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. Yeah, I guess not. Please, all I ask is you make it home, safe and sound. Now we're gonna not flashback, where I can turn into Maya again. Yes, we are, okay. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. Even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up, like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. Unlock this card, should go take a look around. Cool, let's do that. Oh, I assume we were in the hotel basement. Like, he completely took us somewhere else, it looks like. Why does he have one of the bears from the crime scene? Does he always take something from a crime scene? What is this place? I've got a feeling I'm not in the hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear? Oh, how cute. But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, it looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." I bet this could be a clue. So did he somehow know Celeste? And are we at Matt and Guard's place? It's so dark in I can barely see, but these kind of feel like videotapes. All of them. What kind of room is this? Oh, locked. Of course. Doesn't look like I can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through here. Why does every lock in this world lock from the wrong direction? In what situation would the lock be on the other side of this door, and not on the inside? I don't get it. Okay, computer. Oh hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Drat, there goes my plan to use this to somehow get out of here. What's this thing? An antenna, I guess. And this is a VCR? There sure are a lot of electronic gadgets here. But what is an antenna doing here? Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. Yeah. It seems that your Mr. Wright is truly concerned about you. He is? For now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways you mean? Dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct? To the dead? I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting. I am an assassin. No way, you're lying. I mean, an assassin? People are not always who they appear to be. Nick. Okay. Mr. Nick? Oh yes, Pearl's got caught in my thoughts about my situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know. I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. Ungard. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay. Do I have... Can I present him this? Card. Edgeworth for some reason went pale as he saw his card. Hey, I know what this is, pal. You do? No matter what you look at it, I'd say it's a picture of a shell. That's it? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay. Don't care. We had to come back here to be able to go to the detention center for whatever reason. Sorry about visiting hours over for today. Arg. I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... You're Mr. Wright, you say? Oh yeah, there's a message here for you. A message? It's from Matt Guard. Here you go. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. What if I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright, so actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shu. I didn't put out a lot of food when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house and feed Shu for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? Okay, so she is being held at Matt Guard's place because she's got the cat door, yada yada. This is terrible, let's hurry, we have to feed his cat. I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now. Yeah, I guess. Okay, a client's request is request. I guess I should go check up on his cat. Do I have to go there first? Oops. Wait, what? Wow, everyone looks really busy with something or other. They're probably strengthening the evidence for tomorrow's trial. Hey, hurry up with that, will yous? Pass that victims list around. You gotta be kidding, there's over 100 people on here. Mr. Nick, is Mr. Guard really that big and bad of a criminal? Actually, Pearls, never mind. It sounds like they're working on a different case. Oh, down from the... So I have to go to the hotel first. Okay, hotel. Alright, now, Mr. Nick, let's go look for clues. We have to, for Mystic Maya's sake. You shall not pass. Soul bag, don't devalue my name and turn it into a gasp, you spiky-headed pettifogger. Because of you, I've been made to look like the bad guy again, although I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy, just as he promised. But what I really want is something much more valuable. I want Edgy Boy's heart, I want all for me. I'm just gonna let her go. She pass out. Ah, Miss Oldbag, keep your hands off me. This helmet is airtight. No air gets in and no air gets out. Then why do you keep putting it on? Don't think you can get me to move with silly questions. You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by. I'm not hearing this. I mean, I guess I'll just talk to her. There's so many questions. Okay. Let's present this and then maybe we'll ask her. Maybe if I show this letter I got from Edgeworth. Miss Oldbag, if you look at what you want me to look at this worthless piece of edgy poo. Is that her perfume? Pheromone de amour I smell? Let's see here. Please allow this unsophisticated young person to conduct his investigation. Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth. Yours truly? That man's no good at, or that man's good at flattery. Fine, but only because Edgy Poo said so, you understand? Their introduction given. I just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. You do anything bad, and I won't let you off the hook. Okay. Looks like she has strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth. That may be, but you know nothing's going to come of it. That's so mean, Mr. Nick. Feelings are meant to be told and shared. Ow. Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. So anyway, let's continue our investigation. Okay. What now? One little thing before I forget. You can't go into En Garde's room today. Why? The police's main investigation team is going to be in there all day, you hear? I wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer. So don't go in there. Set one foot in there and you'll face the wrath of Wendy Oldbag. I want to save real quick. I have like this weird thought that like when I go to here, I'm gonna die or something weird. I'm gonna mention the room. Sure is dark. I'll go turn on a light. Like, yeah, she's on the other side of that door. Wow, so this is what a star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's find Shoo, the kitty cat. Oh, excuse me, Shoo. Meow. So I guess this is Shoo. Ah, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shoo. Teehee. The cat seems to like pearls. Pardon me. I mean, we don't know any of this, I suppose. Really? May I help you with something, Mr. Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. En Garde's lawyer. The master's... Oh, so he's actually like the head of the family or something? Then you must be Mr. Wright. Yes. It's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. Why would he need to send us here if he had a butler? I'm the family butler, John Doe. Nice to meet you. Why would I need to be here if he's got a butler? That's a very cute cat you've got there. It's my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies Shoo. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Matt Snow crumpled into a ball and thrown away. What the heck? You must know all sorts of things about Mr. En Garde, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say, maybe about 1 year. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. You know, I would have thought Mr. En Garde the kind of maid over a butler. Well, afraid I must take my leave of you now. We should probably get going ourselves. So young and yet already so accomplished a master of law. There's also a lot to be proud of in being a butler, in charge of the house and all. Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Does he not recognize this is the guy who, like, took Maya to the front of the hotel lobby? Now, if you'll excuse me... There's a small door in the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. I bet it's for Mr. En Garde's cat to use. Oh, you mean Shoo? The door, it's locked tight. Well, I guess this will keep nosy people like me from entering it. Oh, there are masks here. Yeah, that one in the middle is the Steel Samurai. The ones next to that are the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. They fought many battles against the backdrop of New Old Tokyo. Wow, you really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick. I don't know whether to laugh or cry that I know more about that show than a kid. A giant bicycle is flying through the air. The bicycle pearls is one where you don't have to pedal and moves on its own. Really? Wow. But sorry to disappoint you, it can't fly. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, there's a giant cooking hearth here. It's actually a fireplace. How are they different, Mr. Nick? You know, I've never actually seen a hearth before. Come to think of it, you should come and visit Fade Manor then. I'll show you the one when you do. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Oh. Good thing I accidentally double click. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. I would never want to sit under a suspended motorcycle. In any case, I don't really belong here, do I? Arg, what's with me and feeling inferior today? Anything else? There's another door over here. You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick. Yes, Pearls. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. So, like, are we going to realize during the case that she's here? And then, like, we're going to, like, find him guilty and then try to race over here and save Maya in time? I guess. Okay, let's go back to the hotel. Let's go to the hall. Looks like we're the only ones here. So, one thing I dislike about games where you have multiple vantage points is you know something as the player, but when you're playing as the character, you don't have the information to use. It's, I don't know, it's frustrating a lot of the time because it makes it painfully obvious that you're playing a game rather than being part of it. Because it's very non-immersive. When, like, there's a game, I don't remember what it was, that had you jumping back and forth between two characters. And you thought you understood what was going on, but when they actually, like, finally meet up, it's different. So it's, like, somewhat interesting. I wish I remember what game that was. That was a long time ago I saw that. But, like, when you're doing two different perspectives... And, I mean, sometimes it's really like, oh, you see something, you're like, oh, that has to do with this, and it doesn't really impact stuff, but it's cool. This is like a frustrating thing of, oh, I know that Maya's like on the other side of the door, but the character I'm playing as doesn't, so, oh, well. So then you have to, like, keep that separation in your mind, and it's frustrating. Today's a very frustrating stream. And yet the hotel seems so busy somehow. Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer. I'm not examining anything because I don't see necessarily a reason to. Hey, city boy. Wada, you're still here? Reckon course. Investigative photographer eats or starves on her ability to snap up the scoop, yeah? This hotel just has that aura of mystery. You know, like something's always about to happen. But, do you have a camera? Rec given. A photographer's gotta have cameras out the ear like corn to be a real pro, you know? So I'm hanging around here. Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, do you have mine? You bread thief? Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, I mean, I get it's supposed to be a vernacular, but like it's, I don't even know what that was supposed to mean. What? Why can't you drop that thief thing already? Here, you want your camera? Would you please take a look at this? Nope, sorry, no can do. Only thing I want to see is a steaming hand towel. What? A steaming hand towel? Need one for my eyes. Today just ain't a good day for my eyes to be looking at stuff. How convenient. Maybe I'll have to use that one next time you show me something. I guess she didn't want her camera. I want to ask you about the night of the murder. What? You're really going to shell out the bucks for the info I got? Lotta, you were loitering in the hallway the night of the murder, were you not? Well, kinda, but... Commercial Phoenix, here it comes. I didn't exactly hang around here the entire time. Followed a few stars around, got a few autographs, shook a few hands, had a soda pop with a few of them too. It looks like she wasn't here the entire time that night. The security lady also wasn't in this hallway the whole time either. I guess this means there's no one who can tell us who came and went that night. About the note that was inside your camera case. Oh, that ditty I wrote? Yeah, can I believe what you've written? You mean the stuff about Guard shoving his manager lady onto Karita? Yeah. Well, I reckon you best not be believing that. What? Look, I sort of wrote that on a whim, you know? Writing whatever came to mind. Whatever came to mind? Yeah, when you get down to it, it's just a lot of random bull-dooders. Hey, what's with you? Why are you staring at me like my grandpa used to? Humph. Hey, and why do you look like you suddenly got older, too? Or am I just shrinking here? Oh, my baby. My $1,600 baby. What's with that red-coated prosecutor, anyhow? The guy told me it was evidence and refused to give it back to me. Well, that's kind of how it is. Hey, you're that redcoat's friend, ain't you? Well, put in a few good words for me and get back my camera. Do you want me to do what? Listen, nag the guy real good for about 5 hours and I'll guarantee he'll give it back. Why don't you do your own dirty work? Well, I reckon it's time for me to get going. A tabloid photographer without a camera is just a tabloid, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Keep yourself together out there, you hear? I'm coming to see you in court tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. And you too there, little one. Keep up the good work, okay? Okay. Don't be picky about your food now. Okay. And make sure you do all your homework, you hear? Okay. If you happen to find yourself a camera, make sure you bring it right to me. Okay. Will you please just leave already? Okay. Ong. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Mr. Nick, what is that otherworldly ghastly moaning? Goof. I hate evil ghosts. You know, she can channel people. Why does she just channel the victim? And we can figure this all out so easily. I hate evil ghosts. Wow. I don't think it's a ghost. Maybe it's a demon? Excuse me. Watch who you're calling the demon, brat. Ah, zoinks. It's the alien. Who are you calling an alien? Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Oh, hey Peachy, how's it going? What is wrong with youngins today? I came down here to pay my respects to my poor Juan, and you're disturbing me. Actually, we can talk to her. Hopefully she's not as frustrating. Please talk to me about the night of the murder just one more time. I talked about it plenty at the trial. I was fooled, tricked, deceived by that fraud of a photographer and her note. She was loitering around here with that imbecilic look on her face. Okay, got it. Now hold on a second there, you little pipsqueak. If you're going to take notes, at least make me sound better than that. Dude, okay, the game today has been incredibly frustrating. So it's made for a bit of a frustrating stream, but it's okay. We're more than halfway through this case and we're making progress. Oh, all right. Now, I've seen everything. But you know, I was working that night too, doing my job, minding my own business. So it's not like I had time to waste standing around here the whole night. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about Mr. Karita. He was the most popular star, you know, especially where it counts, in my book. But I heard that he was lagging behind in the polls against Mr. On Guard. Well, that's just a recent thing. Bad luck and all that, you know? But he was going to become an even bigger star than he used to be. Look, just look at his mountain of presence. It's a show of the mountain of feelings all his fans have for him, or had for him. Yeah, the mountain is pretty big and certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Mr. Nick? What is it, Pearls? The presents, they're all bears, right? She's got a point. There isn't a single thing here that isn't a bear. All of Mr. Karita's presents from his fans seem to be bears. Oh, that's because you can't think of one without thinking about bears. Bears? Why bears? You don't know? When my dear Juan was training, he fought barehanded with a bear. He refused to give in and let the bear win, but after the fight they became friends. Wow, what a heartwarming story. Look, it's just like in those young people's dramas. I can see those two... Oh. This phrase weird. I can see those two tuckered out. Down by river going, you sure can fight. You too, bub. You too. Did all that really happen? in his biography, bub. What a load of crock. So ever since then, fans have been giving him bears as presents. Yeah, nice. Bears. I'm Uncle Bear and I say it's barely 8 o'clock. What is that infernal racket? It's one of the presents going off. Sounds like it's already 8 p.m., way past your bedtime. Irk. That startled me. I thought I was going to die for a second. 8 p.m.? That's the time when the award ceremony ended that night, remember? Time sure flies. Hard to believe it's been 2 days since the ceremony. The transceiver. So, it's weird that we're not going to recognize the guy's voice or the transceiver after we just met him in person, like right before this. He's not on the phone. Maya, how's Maya? You haven't heard her, have you? It seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney. I have heard the news, so it seemed my present did you no good. No, Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! One more day, please. All I ask is for one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time. Please. I suppose if I must. I need that acquittal more than anything else, after all. Please let Maya say something. I want to hear she's all right. All right. Hiss, then hiss, hiss. A little. What's with this static all of a sudden? Hello? Hello? It seems bad connection. Damn it. Did the transceiver just suddenly break? Excuse me. Okay. What happened? I don't know. All of a sudden, it became nothing but static. Mystic Maya, why did the transceiver suddenly break like that? I should probably have an electronics expert look at it. The sooner the better. One. Okay, I didn't know. I thought like maybe that phone was jamming it. Okay, let's leave here. I'm assuming there's going to be an electronics expert at the police station? Nope. Okay. At our office? I was going to talk to, yeah, see if Gumshoe's got something for us. Hey, welcome back, pal. I thought I'd make you a little something for dinner. That's nice, thanks. A rich man's luxurious full-course meal, out of a can, that is. I'm sorry you went through all the trouble to cook, but I don't have the time to eat. Oops, looks like you don't have a can opener, pal. You've got to be kidding. And here I thought he had already whipped something up. Oh, I know. There's one way I know how to be helpful. Ask him about anything you want, pal. Go ahead. Well, since he's here and offering, I wonder what I should try asking about. Okay, I want to ask him about the transceiver. The transceiver? Oh, Mr. Nick. You should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing. What thing? Oh, yeah. This thing just up and broke all of a sudden. It broke, pal? When I was talking to the kidnapper, it just suddenly broke into static. Look, it sounded like this. I don't hear any static, pal. Huh? Maybe it fixed itself? That's strange. I'm sure it was making a loud static noise. Well, it's because of something in that office, or in that hotel room. Maybe what? Maybe it was electromagnetic interference, pal. Electromagnetic interference? I guess we can ask him about that? Perfect. So what is electromagnetic interference? It's something that happens when a radio wave gets mixed up with another signal, pal. Oh, when you put it that way, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, for example, when a cell phone goes off next to a computer screen. The stuff on the screen gets kind of fuzzy and starts acting funny, right? I mean, a long time ago it did. It does not do that anymore. Huh? Computer? It's like when you use the dryer next to the TV and the screen starts looking weird. That also doesn't happen anymore. Oh yes, the TV does do that. So that's what you're talking about. She seems amazingly happy at being able to understand this. So the room you were in when that interference to the transceiver happened, there's got to be something there that's sending out very strong radio waves, pal. Something like, like a listening device or something. Ah. Hey, speaking of that, where were you when it happened? We're in Mr. Credo's room, the scene of the murder. What? That's it. I'm going to sneak in the precinct and get a bug sweeper. I'll meet you at the crime scene later, alright, pal? Or I guess they're going to add another mechanic to the game. There was one like this in the first game where like they gave you a scanner thing and you had to, I think it was a metal detector? Like you had to run it over stuff to find clues. But we're going to get the bug detector, find the bug in the clock bear, and go from there. Oh wait, Gumshoe. Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah. We should be going too, Nick. Alright, let's go. I assume we're supposed to follow him. I guess not. I wonder if he's just gonna meet us there? Hey, you're finally here, pal. Sorry to keep you waiting. Do you have the bug sweeper? Well, you see... Excuse me, I got busted trying to sneak in, pal. Then suddenly I'm staring at the precinct doors. From the outside, I mean, so yeah, I couldn't get one of the police bug sweepers. What do you mean you couldn't get one? We need that item. Hey, calm down, pal. Didn't say I didn't get one, just not the police's. Wow, so this is a bug sweeper. It looks a little broken. Hey, this is made when I was in elementary school, pal. Oh? By who? Me, of course. Seeing this sure brings back memories. Hey, don't look down on it, pal. Sure, it looks a little beat up. But I put my heart and soul into building this puppy here. Your heart and soul? It'll work. Trust me, pal. It'll do the job. But you can't set the sensitivity. It's going to beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic waves. But isn't it better that way? Oh ho ho ho. Well, anyway, since I brought all this way, might as well give it a whirl, right, pal? I'm getting that sinking feeling again. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this baby. There's a listening device or some other sort of bug hidden in this room, pal. So we're going to find it, right? Right now, first, let's turn the sweeper on. Next, move the sweeper around to give the room a real thorough look-see. The sweeper will let you know how strong of a signal it's picking up, so keep an eye on it, okay? Once you find something that's giving off a lot of radio waves, press enter to lock onto it. There's a lot of things here that's going to give off radio waves, so let's take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious. Alright, I'm going to stand outside and keep an eye out. Give me a yell if you find the bug. Got it, pal? Okay. So obviously, like, this is not going to be what we're looking for, but it's an example of something that would give it off. What about the bear? This must be one of those fancy bear-shaped toy robots. It's a robot. It's a real robot? Yeah, it's a real one. Mr. Nick? Yes? How many horsepowers is it? How many horsies? Horsies? Well, look, it's a bear, so, okay. I mean, the cell phone, I know that's not what we need. A cell phone? What? Don't tell me you don't know what a cell phone is. I'm sorry, I've never seen one before. Now that she mentions it, my cell phone couldn't get any reception while I was staying in Creighton Village. And Pearls has never lived outside of that village, so... Well, I guess I can't say it's impossible to live without one. Okay, there's a alarm clock bear somewhere. Oh, right there. Well, it certainly looks like an alarm clock. What's wrong? Why do you look troubled? I just can't imagine the listening device being inside this alarm clock. Just, sort of reminded me of something that happened a long time ago. Oh. Well, anyway, it looks like the listening device isn't in here. Oh, I guess I had it wrong. Oh, it was the laptop was given. The remote? The TV's remote control, but it doesn't look like the listening device is in here. So I was thinking, what if our TV remote works on other things like, can I make you change your expressions like TV channels? Zap, hey. But if I could, the people I would give the old mute button to. Well, I don't think it's going to work on me. Why don't we try it on Maya tomorrow, okay? Okay. The plain old calculator. It says 50 on it. Maybe he's calculating his allowance. Whole 50 cents? Maybe if he was a spirit medium. What's this thing? It sort of looks like a hot water pot. Oh, it's like the coffee maker. As if hot water coffee comes out. Really? This pot can do that? Is there a pot that orange juice comes out of? I don't think there's anything like that, Pearls. Sorry. Oh. Apparently I have to be... This is just a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I've ever seen. Hey, so did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean? No, not yet, but this bear's eye is. Let's see. Perfectly normal stuffed bear, something with some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you'd found the device to me, pal. Let's dig this big fella's eye out and see what we've got. No, you can't. Such a violent act. Rip. No. So I assume we're going to help Gumshoe get his job back because he's going to be the one that finds and rescues Maya, but who knows. It's a miniature camera, and it looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer. What meter? You don't know what a transmitter is, Val? Oh, is this more of that high-tech stuff? So this tiny thing is a camera? Yep, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small, high-grade video camera mostly used in security systems. So it's a video camera. It runs on a battery, which comes with it in the set. But there's no videotape in this camera. This is only the camera part here, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside it is somewhere else. Somewhere else? The footage is changed into radio waves and then it's sent to that recorder. So, it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it? Hey, you know, you're right. Set to record the victim's room from 8 p.m. for 1 hour. Was running at the time of the murder. Wait. Oh, 8:15. Why did I think it was 7? Right. So, what is a transmitter? A device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal. It looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing. Oh, that's a timer, pal. You can set it to turn the camera on and record at a certain time with it. You can set it for a certain time? Yep, let's see. This looks like it was set to start at 8 p.m. and go for 1 hour. 8 p.m.? That was the time the award ceremony ended. There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I'd guess. Mr. Detective, how long has this bear been here? I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder. Then maybe this camera caught the murder on tape. What? And if you think about the angle the bear is at, it's bound to have had a clear shot of the whole crime, pal. There was a camera in this bear's eye, and it was disguised as a present. And I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. It's pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind. But who gave Mr. Credo this present? I don't know, pal. But this means that someone out there's got a video of what happened here that night. Isn't there any way we can find out who that person is? It's impossible, pal. Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere, so there's no real way to find out. Oh, sniffle. Is there really no way to find out? Okay, so we've gotten some new evidence. I got it. What? Hey, pal, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit. What are you going to do? I'm going to go around to electronic shops and see if I can find out who bought this. But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 p.m. Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal. Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. Okay, so he's gonna help us out. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah. He's gone. Yeah. But Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's pushing himself so hard, all for Mystic Maya's sake. It's a mystery how you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right? Ack. You'll have to excuse me, I heard your conversation just now. Edgeworth, what are you doing here? A rescue team has been created and deployed. I can't say I'm optimistic, but we have to move forward one step at a time. I see, thanks. Don't thank me yet, we still have to find her. So there's a spy camera hidden inside the stuffed animal, huh? You're one lucky man, right? You know the stuffed bear, little girl? I have no idea. Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. It's completely handmade and only a small number of these are exported here. What? The camera and the transmitter that Scatterbrain Detective took with him are dead ends. Things like those can be bought anywhere. However, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is. Can you really do that? Mr. Nick, can you really? Well, I guess so. It's 9 p.m. I think I can still make it in time. Are we taking this for now? I'm sure you have other things you have to do. See you soon, right? Wait. What? Why are you doing this? I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. Besides that, right? Until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Who was the person that murdered Juan Carita? The real killer? You really still think it was Adrian Andrews? To be honest, I don't know anymore. But we know who the real killer is. He left his calling card. We figured that out. You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth. I mean, he's the prosecutor. He's supposed to find the truth. Juan Carita's real killer, Miss Andrews passed. The kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal for Mr. Engard. And this card, Shelley the Killer. Maya, the only way I can save you now is to find all the answers to this case tonight. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. But as you said, all I can do for now is find the truth. Okay. A break in the investigation. I think we're going to save and then we're going to keep going through the investigation phase, and then we'll probably stop there and do the trial tomorrow. Let me check something real quick. I'm quickly scrolling through something because I've looked up like how long each part is. Part's a little long. We can probably do it though. Yeah, we'll try to get through it. I mean, it probably can't take more than an hour, so we should be able to do it. Okay, 9:14. Past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, don't you worry. If we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. I guess we can talk to her. So the real person who killed Mr. Carita was that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? The card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, a new question comes to mind. Who is the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client? I mean, who asked for the murder? That person didn't mind dirty their own hands in blood. Whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Who could have hired the assassin? You think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. If she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? If Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be. Matt Engard himself? If Mr. Engard really did hire the assassin, then he's not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime. It can't be Mr. Engard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him, Mr. Engard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Juan Carita? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Carita, okay? That doesn't mean he didn't hire someone. I didn't see any psychologists at that time. Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. So what's this interesting thing? Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. If he lost the Grand Prix, He was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Mr. Engard's secret. What is this secret? I don't know yet, but for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Krita was going to reveal this secret. That means Mr. Engard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Krita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Engard. There's no way around it now. Okay. Can we get there? Whoop, punch my mic. Who do we run into? It's getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of this secret Mr. Krita held about Mr. Engard. Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. Okay. Hey, wait. What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? One Gumshoe made? I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. The request came from Edgypoo, so... Edgeworth. And he said... If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Oh gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. Why? I'm confused. This is absolutely top secret, so you'd better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know. It was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? Means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Krita. I'll let you in on another secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl, the nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too. Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet it's nothing good. But I didn't say anything. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, there's something of a refreshing pair of those two. Oh? I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impacts. Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know? Married? You mean to Mr. Krita? Sigh. Really, you young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. 3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the... Why would Miss Impacts want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. That night, after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. I mean, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Right, sorry. Done sneezing. Alright, let's move on. How many people are we going to run into? On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Okay, we need to go to the... I keep forgetting. I have to go here first. Doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera, asking around at all the electronic stores. I'll make some salad for him for dinner. Looks like Pearls really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us. Mr. Nick? Yes? Where's the lettuce? I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before. I guess I have to give up on making a salad then. Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. And nothing to talk to her about, but I need to come here so I can go to the detention center. Visiting hours ended a few hours ago. Looks like we're not going to get a chance to talk with Mr. Engard tonight. But isn't what we have to ask very important? Yeah, but I don't think that matters to the guard. Alright, so we can't do anything while we're here. Let's go to the Criminal Affairs Department. See what's going on here. Feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Engard's lawyer, right? Yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. Decisive witness? You mean for the Engard case? Alright, get another drink of water. We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick. Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah. Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are now long over the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. What? I've already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. This is such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content? It sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Miss Engard and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Let's talk to Engard first. Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Carita was killed by an assassin, and that the assassin's client is this man, Matt Engard. What's wrong, Mr. Engard? There's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. About the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is? Please? Okay. Psych lock with 5 locks. I knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Psych locks. You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? You know about Mr. Carita and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Carita. The mentor was Mr. Carita's manager. Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him. Celeste? Is that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? Is it a kind of pea like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay? Alright, I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? Mr. Engard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? Okay. Anything I need to present him right now? I'm kind of scared to show him this card. What's wrong, dude? Oh, about this picture card. Have you ever seen this before? Nope, never saw it before in my life. I don't think he's lying. Or is he? Then again, he looked like he gasped just now. Maybe I'm seeing things? Well, if he did, I didn't see it. I was looking at the text. Okay, nothing else here. Do I, like, have to leave and come back to talk to the other person? Yes. Okay, so now I want to talk to Andrews. Oh, it's you. Sorry you're visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. You can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Krita had on Mr. On Guard. I'd like to ask you about Matt and Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean... You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. About Miss Celeste Impacts. I'd finally put her death behind me, and now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and to burn it. You wanted to burn it, but why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. Suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple, because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they figured it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews, well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason, but please tell me why you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? Okay. But she's got a single psych lock. That's not very much. Okay, sorry. Just checking. I was checking something. Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say, revenge. Okay, so we need something about that. I don't think there's anything I need to present. What the heck just... My monitor just went dead. I'm making sure, like, nothing bleeped out. Right, that's weird. It's like a shortage of... Instant shortage of power? Okay. Let's go... Criminal Affairs. Oh, yeah, something's changed here. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers? What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers? I was talking with the detective until a little while ago and was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. You're just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? So, about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. It sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said. Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick, Mystic Mine and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's all right. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know? Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going on. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He'd never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say, it's just a game, to justify himself. What? How horrible, that's unforgivable. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know? Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? You see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in the world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see? But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh hey, so did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Inpex? We heard something about how her wedding was canceled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Power is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity. Hey, so you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. They say that Juan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Kurita? Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man. A truly insidious man? Did you mean Mr. Kurita by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? So what I'm assuming happened at this point is that she was involved with, not Juan, well, sort of Juan. She was involved with, Matt, who sicked her on Juan, like the story that Lotta made up, but it turned out to actually be true about the previous manager. And then when, like, they were getting married, like, they figured stuff out, and then that drove her to suicide, and Juan covered it up so he could get revenge. I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be the reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info. It's also possible that the suicide note wasn't a suicide note. It was the calling card of the one guy, and he murdered her. Welcome back again, Peachy. We're still figuring stuff out here. You're welcome. Mr. Guard and Ms. Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Mr. Nick, your phone. Hey, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal. I'll be back at the office real soon. What's wrong? Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. Look. That jumped so fast. Hello? He got cut off. What's going on, Mr. Nick? Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away. Then we should hurry back. I'm scared to go back. What are you talking about, Mr. Nick? Pull yourself together. Maybe it'll be good news. Somehow, I doubt that. Okay, let's go to our office. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. Eh? This quickly? And this bear's what gave them away, pal. Bear? I figured it out, pal. I figured out that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured it? Shush, pearls, and go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spawn another person in their room? Matt and Guard. Huh? Matt and Guard. Your client, that's you, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right that the person who bought this bear was... I'm from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. for $3,800, pal. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. Ungard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Ungard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. Ungard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. Is it 100%? Okay, we can't check it, so there's not like anything weird about it. So what about the spy camera we found? That was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you to file away in evidence. Okay. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Krita's room was Matt Guard. Why would Mr. Guard do something like this? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Krita in one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. Guard, I mean? Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we'll find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for Pearls. Matt and Guard, what in the world have you done? Okay. Let's go back there. Working really late, you know? It's already past 10 p.m., dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax. Don't you know that ignorance is bliss? If you really want to know, let's talk. Okay, let us present. Now we've got 3 full pages of evidence. Present the bear. Can you please take a look at this? I know it may not seem important to you. If it's not important, then I'd rather be in bed. Okay. Let's present the receipt. Okay, same thing. Apparently he doesn't care. Can we do the camera? Okay, he doesn't care about any of this. So I think I just have to start breaking through the, Yeah, I guess I just gotta start breaking through the lock would be my guess. Before we do that, we're gonna save in case we somehow like very badly mess this up. Because we didn't look to see like what the first thing we have to like prove is. I feel like there's nothing else I could gather, so I have to have everything that's here. And that's secret. Now, let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Creed had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I told him I didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on. I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Krita, especially on that night. Okay, so this is the camera. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Krita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then send the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where's this camera you're talking about hidden? Okay, inside the stuffed bear. So this might be multiple locks we're going to break at once, who knows. The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. Okay, we just got one lock. I guess one had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. Hmm? You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this to Mr. Krita was... you. Mr. Engard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. But he says he knows you. How can you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He said that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. Engard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here's proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. The receipt? I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. Ungard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800, this could be the toothbrush that I bought that one time. A $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory and it's got elephant hair for bristles. Ew, elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yes. You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is. Of course it'd be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Krita's room and filmed it in secret is... I mean, I don't think it's the card? I could say he wanted the film of the murder, but I don't know if that necessarily makes sense. No, I don't think I... Oh, he probably... I think he probably wanted to catch... He was going to pretend to sleep and he wanted to catch the manager, his manager with Juan. So that he could, like, throw them under the bus for something. Adrian Andrews, there's a rumor going around. Miss Andrews and Mr. Krita were having secret meetings. You, who's keeping tabs on Mr. Krita, you are going to reveal this as a fact and turn it into a scandal, isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Huh? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer, dude, that kind of scandal, that's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent, but it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Krita because of Miss Andrews, and there's only one reason I can think of you to do such a thing. The real reason you set the camera in Mr. Krita's room was... So that wasn't wrong, but it was to get him to say that wasn't it? Because now I'm going to say the murder. What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelly the Killer. And I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matt Guard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because... Yeah, you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So how? How do you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Krita. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt and Guard. Sigh. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. Mr. Guard, you really did hire her. Hold on a sec. I'm going to consult myself, okay? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. Okay, we got through all these locks. Oh no, he's got a big scar on his face. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt and Guard. Where do you get that drink? Hey, we got all of our points back. I'm surprised that didn't go. That went across days. I guess it's all the same day. Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. So you are Shelley the Killer's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? Well, what do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... I don't necessarily think it's a double personality, it's just him hiding, like, his real personality. Way past your bedtime, little girl. I think that there's a case in the first game that had double personality. Or am I thinking of Danganronpa? One of the Danganronpa games might have had a double personality. I forget. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. But why? Why did you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. You knew about Miss Andrews' secret? I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding this sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why? Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. So the reason why the killer is holding Maya at Ungard's house is probably because he didn't find the recording? And he needs him free so he can get the recording back, I guess? That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl? Why would you kill Mr. Kurita? Because he was about to sling so much dung on my beautiful public image. Skinos are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Kurita had been able to give it, then Mr. Ungard's secret would have... well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, but really, bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Kurita ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin, too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone all working their butts off for me, Matt and Guard. Did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Kurita, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was the killer guy, right? And all I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Kurita. Ha ha ha, I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Grr. But too bad, you can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? Well, technically, I've got a little girl with me who is not a lawyer, and she could technically say it, but I don't think that's what they're getting at. You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? But you can't, can you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya. You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliche phrase. Once it's something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how things turn out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. The starting line of his case. Edgeworth. Yeah, wouldn't it be interesting if they were just recording the conversation? I mean, I know technically you're not allowed to record a conversation between a lawyer and his client, but why was Edgeworth here then? I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. We still have to break the lock on Adrian Andrews. Well, right, what are you going to do if you plan on changing your strategy? No, we can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? I mean, at this point, the police know he's holding somebody hostage. He admitted to us that he's doing that. They could take our word for it, and then it would be he's going to get convicted of like crazy crimes if he doesn't. I guess he would let her die out of conviction and not like if he's gonna go down, he's gonna take her with him. I don't know. That's not something I can answer for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right? Only you can decide where to go from here. No, it's like you would think the police would do something to help. Like have a fake trial where he's acquitted or something. 1 year ago at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who's clearly a killer, Matt and guard. That man is really ARG. It doesn't matter who, every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you have fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I believed in my clients. I believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. If I were to get in guard an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. Became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who are suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right. You get a hold of yourself, you have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human. You and I. You want to save someone. That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? That's... You're a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You're so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. You're saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then, why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow. I would point out to him about the recording because he might not actually know about it. My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Ngard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I'm doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That's what is called client relations and is part of an assassin's duty. Let me get a little more water. An assassin's duty? You were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however, you did, but my name is the Killer. Shelly the Killer. You're Shelly the Killer. Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, it'll be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap. No. Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace the signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. But we know where he is, so that's like the weird thing. Mystic Maya. I don't know what to say. Edgeworth. Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission? Huh? Oh, that? It sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be. That cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelly the Killer's holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all police units head for Engard Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Okay. We have to go there from the hotel lobby. Living room. I'm sure they're not going to be there. There's a bear. Maya. Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape, assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. He and Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. We're going to look at the little bear. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. There are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. I don't know why that's important. A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. Ah, I'm sure that's for Shu. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door. It's locked. Wait. It's locked on both sides of the door? How does the door unlock, then? Every door in this world is locked on both sides. Alright, there's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is Engard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. There's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. Assholes look at everything. It's on Guard's computer. Maya, why couldn't you use this to get help? Mr. Nick, where's the power switch? Oh, I get it. So that's what happened. She couldn't find the power switch. The VCR and an antenna. The footage that the spy camera took at the scene of the crime was beamed here and recorded on tape. If only we had that tape, it would have been really helpful. Not really. We already know what happened. New television speakers. I'm sure if Maya saw this, she'd say, I'd die a happy samurai fan if I could see the nickel samurai on a TV like this. Yeah, that's what she'd say. I can't believe I just made a joke about Maya, all things considered. Little door for Shu and this big door. I'm sure Maya used this door to shove this out there. I'm sure it was her. Every time you give me some piece of evidence, it's always the most crucial piece. This time too, I'm sure. I carry all labels of a very large collection of videotapes. Looks like Guard taped all of his own shows. Very small table. I bet we could barely squeeze through pearls on there. But I wouldn't sit on a table to begin with, Mr. Nick. Yeah, that's really weird. What a spacious sofa. I bet 10 pearls would fit on here. I don't think any would fit. Okay. Anything else in here? No. Okay. Oh, we can get to the wine cellar. I forgot. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. Now, we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. The little girl's looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. I mean, we can provide a really good description of him. That's useful. Maya, let's look at the photo here. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax, you mean? Yes, Mr. Krita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. Engard's mansion? And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. You think? Ah, what's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? You just wrote her name? That's not that helpful. I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get in guarded guilty sentence, okay? If you want to get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Where did she write all of this? On the frame? This is a lot of writing. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. That's an incredibly long note. That's No, Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. Looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clue goes, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? I'm gonna sneeze. Yo, the sneeze wore off. Oh no, it's gonna come back later. Oh no, I can still feel it. It's like barely there. I didn't sneeze. There's Andrew's psych lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. To blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Oh, perfect. It just took me straight there. It's late outside, but it's like super late at night. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I've come to remove your psych lock. Psych lock? I want to know, and you will tell me. Your secret. Fine. Go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Save it just in case. And I'm assuming after this, the investigation's over, and then we go to the trial. And then we're probably going to save the trial for tomorrow. But, okay. Present. What's funny is I only ever, like, outside of, like, the streams, I never sneeze. So I don't know what it is about sitting here and talking that makes me have to sneeze. Like, if I was just sitting here playing games on my own, I probably wouldn't sneeze. Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Engard for murder? I already told you countless times. It's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Engard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you're saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There's something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. I mean, do we present the person or do we present the photo? Celeste. There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings, and even revenge. And that is Miss Impax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hit her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't mentioned him yet, but for you to hate Mr. Engard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? Yes, the photo. This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. W. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's all right. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Engard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Yay, unblock successful. If we didn't have full points, we'd probably get them back. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that didn't work out. Because Mr. Krita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Mr. Engard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then and often saw the two of them together. So that's why, with love, Celeste is written on the front of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It's revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Krita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It's probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Impacts. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. In that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. It would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge, but couldn't he have just immediately revealed the note? Why did he have to wait? Revenge? There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it's only natural I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two are always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I'd even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters, so when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I am a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It's no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either, not with my situation, or with what I know now. Okay. So we're gonna save here. Like, as things like get going, the game is good. And then it's just when you get slogged down in like the trial with like semantics, it gets very frustrating. But we're going to save here. So yeah, trial part is next. I definitely think it's going to take too long for me to try to do tonight. I'm guessing it's probably going to be like 2 hours of trial, maybe 3 hours. So the plan is that we're going to stream that tomorrow. So we'll do back-to-back streams for the first time. Let me switch the big there. I need to figure out why it always switches me to frowning when I turn that way. But no sound in the background. That's fine. But yeah, thanks for coming by again, Peachy. If you want to check out the stream tomorrow, I'm planning on starting probably around 7 p.m. Eastern. Maybe no, that's probably exactly when I'll start. Probably not earlier, probably not later. I'll shoot for 7. And then if this takes like 3 hours, that'll be the stream. If it only takes like an hour and a half, maybe I'll play something else after. But the investigation was definitely much less frustrating than it was than the trial was earlier on. Because during that, I was just completely done with the game. The investigation, bringing it back and making it more interesting. I will see how the trial tomorrow goes. Hopefully that doesn't get too frustrating. If it does, I'll probably just look up what I have to do again. But yeah, if you can't swing by tomorrow, cool. Otherwise, I mean, obviously the VOD will be there and you can kind of check that out. But anything else? And then I got tomorrow, I'm probably actually going to sit down and like kind of watch through the VOD on this myself because I did make a bunch of audio changes again. Hopefully it turned out okay and things weren't bad audio level wise. But that'll do it. I said I'll be here tomorrow around 7-ish or so. And thanks very much for watching and have a great night.